The microeconomics teams from Griffith University in Brisbane and Woods Hole Research Centre in Massachusetts are working as part of an interdisciplinary team on a primary forest project using 3 case studies in Melanesia, Brazil and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Each of the case studies present different challenges for understanding how local economic and biophysical factors and property right arrangements impact on people's potential for livelihoods from forest economies and how PES schemes can be designed. To help start answer some of these questions, we are carrying out field studies using 2 survey methods, Q method and choice experiments. We are also carrying out a systematic literature review to document the global state of knowledge on the economic value of the ecosystem services provided by primary forests. Q method can determine dominant discourses amongst groups of people. It looks for commonalities in the way people think about their world. In answer to a primer question, we ask people, through strategic sampling, to rank issues by sorting statement cards in a quasi-normal distribution. The card set is constructed from observations from focus groups and interviews where people are encouraged to discuss issues within the domain of interest. As such, it can uncover non-hypothesized concepts. Once all the sampling is completed, the data is subject to statistical analysis that looks for correlations between people's sorts. These correlations are considered dominant factors or discourses. The last step is to describe these factors in a narrative format. These descriptions can provide insight into community attitudes towards the domain in question, can uncover areas of consensus, and can help refine the language with which to engage communities in projects. We have performed Q on the island of Tanna in the Republic of Vanuatu in Melanesia, seeking to reveal the dominant attitudes towards natural resource management of forests and coral reefs in the context of environmental and social and economic change. To ensure the process was well understood and engaging for the participants, we used an illustrator to provide a sketch for each statement card. From the perspective of forest conservation, our initial findings from Tanna are encouraging. The strongest correlation, by a significant degree, suggests there's a widely shared discourse of environmental stewardship based on strong and intimate connections between the community, the landscape, and the resources it provides. This is bound up with traditional practices and community decision-making structures into the concept of custom. A second dominant view is similar to the primary factor, with its strong emphasis on environmental stewardship, but it also includes selected elements of modernity, such as access to clean water and sanitation, and improved medical services. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, we are using a choice experiment to estimate community preferences for the ideal structure of a PES scheme. Choice experiments can reveal preferences for ecosystem services provided by forests, where there are no markets or surrogate markets through which people can express those preferences. Respondents are asked to choose between alternative hypothetical outcomes described in terms of different combinations of levels of delivery of a range of environmental attributes. In addition, a monetary value or price tag is normally included as one of the attributes. This is used to reveal compensation rates for loss of service or payment rates for greater environmental quality. When scaled up, these estimations can provide aggregate monetary values for indirect use and non-use values of forest ecosystem services. In this instance, the choice experiment will determine what level of payment might be needed to secure a continuous change in behaviour in how forest resources are exploited. The experiment will also seek to determine people's preferences for how a payment is administered and paid. For example, is there a preference for payment in cash or in kind with goods and services such as household items or community assets such as schools and medical centres? Our findings will be able to help policymakers understand how PES schemes can be best designed to meet the local conditions and preferences. Lastly, we are undertaking a systematic literature review guided by the overarching question of what is the economic value of ecosystem services provided by the world's primary forests? Our review has 3 steps. Firstly, we have identified the key literature through a broad-ranging search of 4 databases: Scopus, Web of Science, ScienceDirect and Google. Next, we've been through a screening process, checking for relevance and ensuring the material selected is relevant to our research questions. Finally, we are undertaking eligibility and exclusion assessment as part of our reading and documenting process. In our search, we assessed more than 14,000 results. 1,700 of these were deemed relevant. After removing duplicates, we are left with 1,377 studies for our analysis. We are currently undertaking this 3rd stage and beginning to analyse the data. Our goal is to build a database of ecosystem service values for forests. From this database, we can undertake meta-analyses of the data and ask more specific questions. Protecting forests is as much about people and livelihoods as it is trees, biodiversity and ecosystem integrity. Understanding which ecosystem services are valued, by whom and by how much, can help stimulate the institutions required to enable the value exchanges in forest use and protection to be better reconciled. Harnessing the basket of benefits provided by forests can help demonstrate alternative ways forests can be valued, instead of resorting to our default position of simply valuing them as a function of their timber or as a barrier to agricultural development.